So we've got a flat that is caused by a bad rim strip. We're going to fix that and show you guys what to look for and how to deal with it. First of all, let any remaining air out of the tire and squeeze the tire, push it off of one side into the center of the rim to make it easier to remove. So we got that done. We've squeezed the air out. Grab yourself a tire lever. Be careful not to hook the inner tube with it. And off she comes. Then grab the inner tube. And we'll verify what caused the flat. I'm not going to use a pump because that's going to take too long. But we'll fire it up. We can hear it leaking. There's our hole. I'm going to mark that so it's easy to figure out. Then we'll let the air back out. I haven't even taken it out of the wheel, so it's real easy to find out, but you can see that it is on the underside of the tube, and it about lines up with this spoke right here. So just for giggles and to make it easy, we'll make a little mark there. Now we're going to take the tube off, ditch it, pull the tire off, and inspect it and find where we made our mark right here. And we look there and we see the exposed rim hole because the stupid rim strip doesn't go wall to wall on the rim. It should always go from one wall on the inside of the rim to the other. If it leaves part of the rim uncovered, it's inevitably going to walk side to side. If you can see how it's all the way over on this side, but not on that side. The offset spoke beds make it a little bit worse because they're up partway on one side of the rim, but it's going to happen regardless and leave some rim holes exposed. There's another one that probably would have caused it. There's one that's about to happen. And so you don't want to do that. The fix is to get a rim strip that fits all the way rim to rim. The problem is not many manufacturers make them yet with the newer wide rims. This rim, if we measure it straight line, is 20 millimeters, but of course when you factor in the contours of the inside of the rim and that little valley down the center, it's more. It's probably 23 millimeters. Because of the fairly deep channel in here and these exposed holes, the other thing that tends to happen is the tire pressure very quickly pushes the rim strip into those holes, and inevitably that's going to cause flats too. If you can see that little bubble where the spoke hole is in the rim, this rim strip and this wheel is only maybe 2 months old, and it's already starting to happen. A way to eliminate that is to take one of the narrow rim strips like this 10 millimeter Velox and put it down first to cover that. So we're going to do that. So we start off with that. It's an easy enough thing. Line the hole up with the valve stem hole and stabilize that because the adhesive doesn't always work. Now you can see because of the offset spoke bed, that's going to leave every other hole partly exposed, and that's okay with this kind of setup. You really don't need to even cover the whole thing. Just cover most of it to reduce the size of the hole so that the rim, the plastic rim strip or the wider rim strip on top can't get sucked into such a big hole without first pushing this less flexible cloth rim strip in. And these Velox rim strips are tough enough that they tend to do a good job of reinforcing the primary rim strip. On some rims, this will make it really hard to get the tire on and off because you're filling in the valley. That can be a good thing or a bad thing depending on the shape of the rim. This one, I think, is generous enough that it won't be a problem. So of course this means we're using 2 rim strips instead of 1. If your rim is really wide like a lot of new ones are and you're not running tubeless, then you may still have to use tubeless rim tape. The DT tubeless rim tape is black and comes in a whole lot of different widths up to about 32 millimeters, so it's going to fit no matter what. It's just a matter of finding the right one and spending the money. Sometimes on these, because that real thin tubeless rim tape like DT makes is great for tubeless, but not so much for the higher pressure inner tubes on road bikes. So you may have to do 2 layers of it in order to do the job. So we're just about done here. Coming around, finishing my lap. And there's my tape. I'm going to mark my overlap spot. I don't need to add any more thickness to this thing. So I'm going to grab a pair of scissors. Yeah. We're going to turn off the air conditioner too. Don't need that noise. You see, in spite of this stuff being adhesive backed, it doesn't do a very good job of sticking. It's just the curse of this stuff not sticking very well to some of these aluminum rims. There's still a little bit of overlap there, so I'm going to try and take off about a 1/2 millimeter more, just the rest of that red stuff, without removing a finger. See if we can do this better and smarter. I will kind of try to give the rim strip a little bit of a bias. There's a bubble in it way back here on the other side, taking up space. I just need this stupid stuff to hold long enough to get the other rim strip on top of it. And so the adhesive isn't really needed too much. But anyway, it can be frustrating because that adhesive's not very sticky sometimes. There we go. So we got that on. We're still lined up with the valve stem hole. And now, if you can see that, this thing's doing good. It's covering up more than half of that hole and all of the next one because of the offset spoke bed. So we're doing good there. It's trying to lift up some more, so we got to be real careful about this. Good thing that's not frustrating. There we go. All right, so I'm going to hold it where it's joined together so it doesn't come loose. Then we got our choice. We got a 21 millimeter Bontrager rim strip, which is wider than the factory one, but still marginally not wide enough. So I'm going to try this red one that I recycled off of a mountain bike that is about 23 millimeters wide and probably about what we want. This Velox is giving me fits, so I'm going to grab some electrical tape and just tape it in place so it quits moving. There we go. That was easy, right? Okay, then we take this nice wide, 23 millimeter wide nylon rim strip, put it in, and you can probably already see that it's going to go wall to wall, completely covering the rim and making this a lot less prone, or impossible actually, to ever get it flat from the rim strip exposing those holes. Because if the rim strip is going all the way side to side, then there's no possible way for it to move over. So we get that into place. Get this up. Now before I pop it over, I'm going to grab a small flat blade screwdriver and get it underneath here, because this will need to be worked back and forth to get ideally situated. Right now that hole is pretty much centered perfectly over the valve stem hole, which is good, but I got to do a whole lap around here to center. See how just initially putting this thing on, the rim strip is crawled up one side. So I'm going to kind of slide this over and manipulate it back and forth until it centers up. And that might mean that my rim strip, there we go. Okay, that's a little bit off, so I'm going to have to go back and find the spot where I need to release it. So it's perfectly centered, and now you can maybe see that that pretty well goes all the way wall to wall, takes care of it. That fuzz I'm not going to worry about. If it drives you nuts, just slowly spin the wheel in a truing stand with a lighter to melt that fuzz up, but that won't matter a bit. And now we will never have a flat again from that. That's all. Hope that helps.